Hello, and welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order, and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we're playing using the combat mechanics from a game called Vaesen. It's our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find Vaesen on freeleaguepublishing.com. Build your own Vaesen game character and play with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Hefty Delphus.
Hi everybody, I'm Hefty Delphus. I'm a possum. Vaesen insists on knowing what age I am, so 6 months old, which is properly middle-aged for a possum, and what my motivation is, which is researching songwriting, and my trauma and my dark secret, which I'm not going to share. I have skills of learning, vigilance, inspiration, manipulation, and observation, so I'll be doing those today, and fighting with my ukulele.
Awesome. Welcome, Hefty. Also joining us today, Arik Jorgsen.
Hey, mister. It's swell to be here. I'm 17. I'm a little bit scrappy, I suppose. I don't really have like a lot of weapons and stuff. I do have a knife that I keep, but that's mostly for carving. And hoping to stay quick and be helpful to my friends.
Well, welcome, Arik. Rounding out our trio this evening, Osmond Bonebrew.
Hi, name's Ozzy. Most people just call me Oz. I am a 4'2", green-skinned, red-haired goblin. I am dressed in serviceable leathers, and if you were familiar with them, you might think I'm dressed like a chef. I make some interesting concoctions to help my allies heal them up. I also fight with a knife as well, but mine looks like a giant carving knife. Let's see here. I'm pretty strong and I'm very empathetic, but mostly on the battlefield. If we get into trouble, I'll mostly be looking to help out my fellow adventurers. And I am 21.
There you have it. Our scene opens as the trio of fire-breathing kittens find themselves on the railroad, on the Draws Railroad Company train car headed to Miners Hollow. Looking over their mission prompt that they had received from the guild, they're reminded that they are headed to Miners Hollow in order to investigate the matter of a curse that has befallen Mayor Banks and his family. Players, why don't you tell me what's happening with your characters in your train car as you're making this trip out to Miners Hollow?
Ozzy is probably sharpening his knife and offering to, does anyone look thin, perhaps underfed, malnourished? You probably need a snack. Are you a little peckish? I have a little travel rations if you're hungry. Nobody? All right.
Say, mister,
Yeah.
I'd never turn down a snack.
He'll bring out, they look like they're little small balls. They kind of look like chocolate with these white little shavings on them. We might recognize them as like little chocolate bonbons with like coconut shavings on them, but I'll hand them out and they'll go, these are, they were taught to me by a traveling elf, actually. They call them Quithpa. Apparently they're really a delicacy amongst the elves. Here, try them.
That is poison, my friend.
What species are you?
I am a possum, and it does not smell like food.
I mean, he takes one and swallows it and chews. I'm fine.
I feel like if I ate that, I would have vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, and death.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, I mostly cook for other goblins, so as I travel around, I've been a little surprised to learn that some of the things goblins eat can be a little toxic to the other races. So I'm sorry. I guess I should have asked. We take a beetle and we grind it up and we squeeze out its never mind. You probably don't want it anymore. It's fine. He just puts it away.
Eric would probably rub Oz on the shoulder and then spend most of the time just looking out the window, watching scenery go by.
The scenery passes by the train car. The cityscapes giving way to rolling countryside, shifting into a rocky, somewhat barren landscape. In the distance, you can see small groups of sheep, shepherds tending their flocks in the hillsides. The train rolls into Miners Hollow as evening is falling over the land. As you depart from the train, you can see that the crescent moon is starting to rise on the horizon, and there's a chill in the air. Arik, a particular tall gentleman gets off the train, and you recognize the face of your father as he heads off the train.
And this isn't our stop, right?
This is, yes. Yeah,
Oh.
the train went to Miners Hollow, and as you departed, so too did Ivan Yorkson.
Say, friends, will you catch up or maybe come with? That's my pa.
Carry me.
Oh, okay, bud. No, lift you up.
I'm realistic about my walking speed.
Oz looks at you after you say that and he takes a step away, but he'll otherwise keep up.
Yeah, he'll run and shout and wave. Pa? Dad? What?
Oh, hi there, boy. Didn't see you on the train.
Or are you? What are you doing here?
I have business here with Mayor Banks. What brings you to Miners Hollow?
We also have business with Mayor Banks. There's a official FBK business, obviously. He'll kind of puff his chest up, trying to look important.
That's good, young man. Good to stay busy.
We'll say, why don't we walk together?
And as you're saying this, actually, a woman, brown, mousy hair, glasses, approaches and says, I hear that you are with the fire-breathing kittens?
Yes. Full status guild members present.
She looks at a little clipboard in her hands and says, can I see your guild tattoos?
Yeah. Arik will roll up his left sleeve and show his forearm. It looks very fresh. Still that nice black with a little hint of puffiness.
Osmond will pull down his shirt, exposing his neck, and there you go. It's one of many.
Excellent. Very good. I hear there's 3 of you. And she turns to Ivan.
It's on here. And I scratch my ear, but full dog scratch my left ear. It's a black on black. So it's easy to miss unless you're looking for it.
Excuse me. Very, very good. Well, if you can join me, I'm to escort you over to the Banks household. You may have heard from your guild master. There's guest rooms that are prepared for you there. If you come this way. And Ivan's like, and actually, miss, I'm here to meet Mayor Banks too. Oh, are you Mr. Yorkson? Yeah, that's me. She said, come with me. And she introduces herself. My name is Karen Royce. And so Karen Royce leads you, plus Ivan Yorkson, to the north side of town to the Banks household. It's probably the largest house that you've seen in the town. There's a gate at the front of the property. Along the gate, there's ornamentation, figures of suns, and something that looks like a large sphere with a swoop cut out of it. She leads you through the gate up to the door, raps smartly on the door, and the door is shortly answered by an older gentleman who creaks the door open. Says, yes, hello. And Karen says, Mayor Banks, these are the Fire-Breathing Kittens members, and also Mr. Yorkson. Excellent. Mayor Banks is kind of a stooped older gentleman, bald on top, not looking so well, pretty weathered, pretty haggard. But you can tell that even for this small town of Miners Hollow, that this is a polished politician, good at putting on a cheery demeanor. Mr. Jorgson, if you would just mind waiting for us in the waiting room, I won't be long. Fire-breathing kittens, please come in. And the 4 of you are escorted into the into the home. Ivan grabs a seat in the front room. There are a trio at play. There's two smaller children, and then a teenager. Teenager is strangely wearing a diaper and like a shirt that's just a little bit too large for him. And Mayor Banks says, "Don't mind the children," and pulls y'all three, or seeks to pull y'all three over into a little side room with a desk and chairs.
Yeah, as we enter or leave parties, Arik will kind of look over his shoulder and beam at his dad that he's been picked in front of his pa, which would be a departure from the norm for sure, since he's always been so important. Yeah, big boy pants stuff. Come sit down with the mayor.
Osmond is mostly just taking him in the decorum. He's very impressed by all the opulence on display.
Hefty feels like this place does not smell like trash.
That's accurate.
Smells like lemon.
As you're pulling up seats in the side room, the teenaged lad starts to cry and wail, and Mayor Banks says, "Sir, if you feed Johann, would you take him in the other room?" And Sarah Banks comes through and escorts. The teenager crawls on the floor after her as they head into a different room, closing the door behind them. Mayor Banks closes the door, greets the three of you. "Fire-breathing kittens, I'm glad you're here. It seems that there's someone in this town who has it out for me and my family. A matter of weeks ago, a curse befell me and my boy and my wife, sapping our strength, sickening us, and, well, that's perhaps the primary thing that you need to know. I need you to find out who did this and reverse it if at all possible."
Sure, can you list the exact symptoms that everybody affected has? That'll really help us.
Well, he kind of looks sheepishly. As I said, it I've sickened me. My hair has fallen out. I've lost vitality. Feel old beyond my years, and, well, you saw little Johann as you came in. That's our youngest, or was. I don't quite know what to make of it. It was late at night. Sarah was feeding the boy. I was up with them, and there a strange light appeared, and as he's saying this, he's unbuttoning his shirt. I suppose this is a symptom as well. And he shows you, I have this burn mark from the evening. And on his chest, there's like a reddish handprint that is just burned onto his chest.
Can I roll an investigation to start off the night to see if I can't, or something else relevant, maybe learning to see if I know anything about something like this?
Oh, yeah, the stats, like the game.
Yeah.
What would be more appropriate, learning or investigation?
Tell me, kind of frame out what you're imagining Osmond is kind of bringing to the fore right now.
Let's see. Ozzy was trained by his mother. She was is the clan cook, but she's also kind of a bit of a witch doctor / shaman. So he has a lot of that. He would have some knowledge of things like curses and things like that. At the mention of a curse, by the way, he will immediately pull out a good luck fetish. It's like an old bone wrapped in feathers, and he just like has it in his hand. He doesn't say anything to it, but it's just out. Like as soon as he heard the curse, he was like, okay, all right. And his what's the term in the game? But his the thing that scarred him was a hag took root in his village and preyed upon the community for a little bit. And many gobs lost their lives driving her out when they finally discovered her. So if any of that's relevant.
Yeah, so drawing off of that, that strikes me as I kind of hear a investigation in the midst of that. Like you're looking to take the information that you've just gained from Mayor Banks and apply it to previous knowledge.
5d6s. I got 2 6s.
2 6s. With 2 successes, I'm going to say that there is a story that that your mother, Ma Bone Brew, told you sometime about a haunting that happened in some neighboring village, and that those who the specter appeared to were gripped with an affliction that aged them rapidly.
So
Startled by fright.
Oz will lean into the handprint. He looks at it close and he kind of squints at it, and then he jumps back a little bit and he goes, I think I don't mean to startle you, but I think you might have a ghost problem. I heard a story about this once. Your symptoms and the handprint, they remind me of it. Is there any reason that someone would haunt you? Have you upset anyone or desecrated any land recently?
Nothing of the sort. There have been a couple of deaths recently in our town, but I certainly had nothing to do with them.
What kind of deaths exactly?
Most recently, our resident sage, Oleg, died, presumably of old age. He was the sage of town, so after the fact assessment, we were a bit lacking in expert opinion, but he was an old man and seemed quite reasonable that he had died of some natural cause. And then one of our miners recently, there was a bit of a mining accident.
A bit of a mining accident? And is your family connected to the mines or the first deceased you mentioned in any way?
I mean, it's a small town. I think with your investigation, especially with 2 successes, I'm going to let you know you feel like he's hedging a bit on how he's connected.
With that, Osmond will lean in. He's kind of like shaking that little feather fetish he has randomly. It's you and your family. If you're hiding something, it can only hurt you. It's in your best interest, you and your family, to just tell us. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help.
I'd like to invite you to make a manipulation roll.
I got a single 6.
Success on your manipulation roll to press in on getting the mayor to reveal more of what he was trying to hold back. And so Mayor Banks says, well, to be fair, our family does own the mine and ran the mining operations, which were recently halted due to the accident which befell one of our miners. So in that way, yes, you could say that I was connected to the miner who passed away. But I was certainly nowhere near him when this took place.
That seems like an odd qualifier to add toward the end of it. Am I getting like a vibe of guilt, perhaps, from this gentleman?
I'm going to say that even without the observation roll, that there is a sense, you have kind of he's already presented to you this sense of, oh, someone has cursed me and my family. He said, oh, well, who's died recently and are you connected? And as he is naming, oh yeah, well, this guy that died, I mean, he did work for me, and was going into the mines at our direction, that he definitely is feeling a level of, oh, I might have some more ownership over this as opposed to someone just having it out for me, kind of thing.
Oz will look at him and say, the kittens are not here to judge you. We're just here to help. I don't know the details of what happened, but it if you're being haunted, there's a good chance that a spirit feels unfinished business towards you. If there's some simple way to alleviate this, money to his family, perhaps, or even a proper burial, is a simple way that might put this spirit to rest.
Well, I certainly want the three of you, again, gesturing to the two of you and the possum on... are you on a chair or Eric's lap?
I'm fine to keep carrying you if that's what you'd prefer.
My walking speed is about that of like a slowly tumbling tumbleweed. So if you guys want to carry me, but I should point out I am wearing like a Sephiroth ratio sword, like to my body, ukulele, because my body is 15 inches long and my ukulele is like approximately that long. So strapped across my back, I'm very obviously not just a possum.
Could be a pack possum.
I could be a pack possum, or I could be like a stuffed purse, but I'm probably not a normal possum.
Yes,
if that helps.
Yeah. Yes, certainly what I have hired and summoned the three of you to attend to.
So we said there was a mining accident, and I was kind of not paying enough attention to the first death. What was that?
Oleg? Yeah, he was an old man, and he was found dead in his home.
How was he connected to you? Was that your employee?
No, he lived in the town, ran his home was a library.
It sounds like a pretty sweet life. I don't think they had any regrets.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, we can cross that one off the ghost list. Wait, did you burn a book?
Beg pardon?
Do you have any books you lost or destroyed?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right, just checking. Oh, do you bend the pages to keep which page you're on?
Never.
Just to ask, do you know if the old man was into the occult or anything like that? A haunting requires a lot of bad feelings and energy. It doesn't just happen randomly, at least not usually.
Into the occult. I believe that Oleg was a man of faith back in the day. He had somewhat transitioned to being a man of letters and science, hence the library that he hosted in his home.
All right. I'll look to my party members and say, who do you think we should investigate first?
Yeah, Arik will kind of nod at Oz and kind of, I don't know, it's hard to like say out loud the subtle gestures that are capable in a face to somebody else in like a quarter second. He'll kind of give a look to the door, like, let's get out of here and then chat.
But we didn't get all the symptoms just before we leave. Apart from being sick and losing your hair and vitality, feeling old, the burn mark handprint, which kind of just buried the lead with that one. And then, just in case you buried any other leads, other than Johann with the strange light with aging rapidly, any other symptoms by any other people?
I think that's all that I comes to mind.
Okay, yeah, let's leave.
Well, thanks for your trust, mister. We'll figure this out, and the fire-breathing kittens are going to get to the bottom of this.
Excellent. I have
Thank
all
you.
the confidence in you. I'll have Sarah show you to the guest rooms that we've prepared for you. And he opens the door back out to the sitting room, calls for Sarah. She comes back in. Johann, toddling after her, plops down on the floor next to his siblings. She says, come this way. As she's leading you out, Mayor Banks signaling to Ivan, Mr. Yorkson, come in here. I have something I wish to show you.
Did he say that the kids had gotten sick when the curse hit?
He indicated that he and his wife have taken ill, and that baby Johann experienced this rapid aging.
Oh, that's what he said. Okay. I don't think... Is there anything I think I might be able to do to try to help him. I don't think I have any skills that might help try to alleviate that. You can tell Oz looks at the child. He wants to help somehow, but he looks in his bag. He doesn't seem to have any tricks in his bag. Sad goblin face. He kind of walks away.
Yeah, Arik will
we could help the
kind
kid.
of put a hand on your shoulder, and you can tell he's thinking the same thing.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this. See what's going on. Help this family.
Arik, I would like to invite you to make a vigilance roll. Vigilance is kind of the noticing skill in the Vaesen system. Also can be used to interpret situations that you're monitoring.
Yeah, he doesn't have any specific training in it, but I do have 4 logic. Oh, 2 successes.
Hey, as Sarah is leading y'all out, and Ivan is being led in by Mayor Banks, you manage to catch glimpse through the door as Banks saying, "I have something I'd like to show you," pulling the cloth off of an object that hadn't grabbed your notice before while y'all were talking with the mayor. A yellow and black rock, a kind of ore that you've not seen before, but it seems to be the focus of Ivan and Mayor Banks's conversation as the door closes. And then Sarah would lead y'all to the guest rooms.
Yeah, he'll play that close to the vest until we're somewhere more private.
Yeah, and so she gets you towels and makes sure you got enough pillows, and checks in with Hefty and says, I wasn't really certain what would be best for you. Do you want a full bed or some blankets on the floor? Or, yeah, okay.
And a little stepping stool.
We can get you a little stepping stool.
Oh my gosh, yes. Being with the fire-breathing kittens is probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm just saying.
Gets you a whole bunch of sleeping accoutrement, and then says, "Well, I'll leave y'all to your evening. If you need anything, just let us know."
About what time in the evening is it?
It's probably about 8 or 9. The sun has definitely set. You're in that kind of dusk period before full on night, but night is falling.
Just kind of a vibe check. Would it be unreasonable to step out of the house at this point where they might have to collect us and unlock and let us back in, and cause trouble for the staff if we were to leave and come back?
That's a great question. Do you ask, or are you just kind of trying to get a sense of the feel?
Yeah, trying to get a vibe of the room, and it's fine if that's a check of some sort.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you this one. I'm going to let you know that the way that Sarah kind of gave a sense of finality, oh, you probably won't be going out for the evening, but you're also the resident experts that they've called in. So you imagine that, if you frame anything as part of y'all's investigation, they'll probably be okay.
Mm-hmm. Then Arik will keep his thoughts to himself and prepare to bed down for the night until we reconvene in the morning.
Man, I am wide awake. Woo, nocturnalism. Is there a doggy door? I hear ghosts are most active at the night.
Oz will open the window a crack.
Woo, freedom!
Shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy.
Since we know that there's a ghost, Oz is going to go to every entranceway in the room. And he's going to pour it would be a small red powder in front of the door and along the windowsills, and he'll shake his fetish over it, saying a prayer in Goblic. If anyone asks him, it's crushed brick dust.
I definitely scatter that as I dash through the window, down the tree, outside, sniffing around.
I was like, but you broke the... I have to start the whole
Are we
thing
in one
over.
room or
Right.
separate bedrooms?
They...
Oh, there's not doggy doors for each room.
I imagine that they had 2 guest rooms prepared for y'all. So you tell me how you divvy that up.
The question is, do they have a pet? And do they have doggy doors? Because if you have a pet and you have guests, your pet sometimes wakes your guests up because it's like, who's in this room? I want to find out.
I'm going to say they don't have a pet.
No doggy doors. Okay, so it sounds like I was in Oz's room because I destroyed his thing.
I gotta start the ritual all over again. Yeah, there's little red footprints everywhere. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. He just redoes it.
Okay, I am basically just eating trash and I'm good. Like, I don't want to encounter a ghost without my friends. Don't split the party. Just have a snack, so I'll come right back. And of course, destroy the brick dust again.
Ozzy is snoring by the time you get back.
Oh, no.
Completely oblivious.
What protection? And then I track it all over the floor and set my trash down and have a snack.
How late do you figure that you're up, Hefty, before you end up calling it a night?
I probably don't fall asleep. I am a nocturnal creature. I take little power naps throughout other people's waking time because I'm like, why are we? It's so bright, you guys. Like, why?
Are you just going to get like increasingly jittery as the adventure goes on because you haven't slept at all?
Yeah. And I can't drink coffee.
Well, then I will tell you, Hefty, I believe that right around the midnight hour, you're going to notice flickers of a faint glow moving along the fence line of the house property.
Oh, I jump on the bed. There's a little stepping stool. And I put my brick dust covered paws right on Ozzy's face. And I'm like, goblin, scramble.
What? What is it? What?
Look at the fence.
What?
Look at the
over.
fence.
Oh,
Yes, out the window, you also observe spectral flickerings of light.
I start banging on the adjoining wall. Wake up!
Arik will pop awake and yell out what, and then spot, I assume, the obvious light.
Yeah, it's intermittent, hazy, and it does not move closer than the fence of the property line.
Well, that's unexpected. Do we have any idea what we're looking at?
Given your previous conversation with the mayor, you wonder if that might be more ghostly activity.
Okay. Are we breaking it down into like poltergeists, anything like that, or just not enough from what I'm seeing right now?
I definitely don't think from what y'all are seeing that you would have more specificity as to the type of spectral apparition.
Fair enough. Well, if we wanted to find a ghost, I think that's pretty good evidence right there. What do we do?
We make $1 million because we've finally found a real ghost. Also, we go outside.
Yeah, Arik finishes putting on his suspenders and then opens the door and kind of talks through the door to you guys. Yeah, let's go.
Grabs his stuff. Oz is out the door too.
Yeah, you guys are able to unlatch the door and move out onto the lawns of the Banks household. Are you heading to the other side of the fence, or are you planning to just stay on the lawn between the fence and the house door?
Oz would get right up to the whatever kind of barrier exists that he can see, and he would just observe what he's looking at.
Hefty's in the tree because I can't operate doors and I am a ranged attacker. So, tree.
Arik would be stepping closer and closer to it to see if anything happens.
Kind of following Ozzy or doing
Following
your own?
Ozzy at first, but it sounds like he might be kind of holding back, and Arik would keep creeping forward.
Yeah, let's have your whole party, if you all want to give, it sounds like, observation rolls to this.
Ozzy was going to start experimenting in a second.
I roll 5 dice for empathy and 2 dice for observation. That's 7 dice total.
I roll 2 for
4
empathy,
for Osmond.
2 for observation. I got 1 success.
2 successes.
1 success.
Everybody succeeded.
Everybody succeeded. Yeah, I think what Hefty got 2 successes. that makes sense to me. Animals are always more tuned into such things. I think that for Arik and for Ozzy, that y'all separated by that fence line, giving really dedicated attention to this flickering light, that you are able to catch glimpses of a skeletal form surrounded by glowing light, like it kind of resolves almost from the diffuse light to periodically being a more visible, clearer definition image of, oh, that's a humanoid, ghostly shape. Where for Hefty from the tree, with your animal instincts and ken for such things, you get a more. It's almost like tuning in the frequency on a radio or adjusting the lens on a telescope, that you're able to like, oh yeah, oh yep, that's definitely a glowing skeletal figure that is seemingly prowling along the fence line.
Okay, I know this is probably like bad to like attack a thing, but I feel like I should fight it, you know? Like, you guys, I look at you guys and I'm like, hand signals, me, points at me, that thing, ukulele.
Ozzy already has a handful of like coarse rock salt that he's ready to throw at it. Like, this might work.
Okay,
Arik is just creeping forward. He's transfixed. He's not looking back.
Okay. But we're not like, you're going to shake its hand when we meet it. We're going to fight it, right? Like, so I'm just like,
no idea.
Is combat happening?
So Arik is moving for the gate of the fence. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I don't have a strong. So like, whether it's the gate or hopping the fence or whatever kind of move we're looking at, but he hasn't made it that far yet. But you can tell like that's on his mind, is getting closer, and then like getting all the way and seeing what happens.
Yeah, for my own clarity, tell me, are you going for a fence hop, or are you going for the gate that y'all came through to open the gate?
He'll go for the fence hop. If it's like moving along the fence line, he'd probably have to go out and around, and that sounds too indirect. But yeah, I think Hefty probably has the drop on it if Hefty's going to make the first move.
Yeah, let's jump into initiative. So at the very least, we can find out what timing things happen.
Nobody's like, we want to make this thing invited to our birthday party. We're all like, we're gonna punch it, right? Like, okay.
You never punched anybody at your birthday?
Both, says Arik. All right, just making sure the vibe was all right.
Yeah, so in the Vaesen system, when you move into initiative, that's a card draw setup. And so, Hefty, I think you've got a deck of cards ready for us if you want to draw one for each of our player characters and also for the apparition.
I do. It's good to help your GM out, everybody, especially when you're, mildly annoying, balances the scales. So I'm going to shuffle for everybody, and I have also, so we did this in the Alien RPG, and I forgot to make labels. So pro tip, also make little labels for each person, so you don't have to remember the order. You got a label next to it. So the first person, the first card is a 4, and that's the apparition. The next card is a 5, and that's Oz. The next card is a 9, and that's Hefty. And the last card is a 2, and that's Arik. And now 2 people who can see one another can trade position orders if they want. So it's 2, Arik, apparition, 4, 5, Oz, Hefty, 9. Anybody want to trade? Anybody happy, sad,
I'm happy with the
good?
turn order.
Happy. Okay.
Yeah, happy.
We're all happy.
I'm thrilled. I'm very excited. So as we break down into the bullet time of initiative, Arik, you go first. You get a slow action and a fast action in Vaesen. Tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah, he's just kind of forgotten that he came out here with friends, and he's just watching this ethereal, kind of scary, but also just so interesting thing. And he's going to creep forward. Nothing happens. Creeps forward. And then if nothing happens, he's going to hop that fence and get closer.
Yeah. So climbing a wall is an agility check. Let's have you roll on that.
Yeah. Agility is physique, which I have 4 plus 2 in agility. So 6 total. 1 success.
Hey, success means that you are over the fence. And I will tell you that as you cross that fence barrier, where you had previously experienced this flickering light just periodically shifting into that glimpse of the skeletal figure, on the other side of the fence, it resolves quickly into the figure of this skeletal, dark skeleton, glowing light surrounding it, hand outstretched at you, and I'm going to need you to make a fear roll.
Ooh.
Yeah. So when you encounter Vaesen, are exposed to magic, or feel scared or stressed as a result of seeing something horrible, it takes effort not to lose control and become terrified. Pass a fear test. Choose whether this situation is one that you're approaching with logic or empathy. And that will indicate how many dice you roll.
Logic for sure.
You may add additional dice, equal number of player characters who are present in the scene.
Oh, that makes it 2 successes.
Hey, that's excellent, because 2 is what you needed to pass this fear test, being confronted by an approaching ghost. So you are not terrified, and we will not get into what happens when a player character is terrified. But you see like, oh, there was some kind of barrier here, and I have now removed that from between me and this figure. Tell me what happens next.
Yeah, he'll kind of hop the fence and then realize sort of what he's done. But just logic and, okay, well, you're not dead yet. Maybe you can keep not being dead. And say, friend, I'm Arik. We're here to help.
All right. Making an entreaty of friendship. And I think there is not really any response from the entity other than that it is moving closer towards you.
Uh-oh.
Failing anything else, I think that makes it the apparition's initiative. So it's going to get right up in your business. And let's see how this works. I'm going to make a quick little random roll. Because you are going to have to save versus a curse effect.
Yay!
Yeah, exciting.
It sounds like you really want it over.
Really won it over. Here we are. Yeah, the having shook off that initial fear effect. So let's see. So curses include For magic to succeed, the creature must win an opposed roll. Its magic against the player character's observation, vigilance, or force. Which skill the player character must use is specified next to each curse. And so for this curse of, he's going to be hitting you with the self-loathing curse. This is an observation roll that you need to roll against its magic.
Well, that's not optimal for me. All right, that's 4 dice for observation. That's off. No successes.
Ooh, exciting. All right, it got a success against you, and so it is going to afflict you with a curse of self-loathing. And so as you jump this fence, as you confront this apparition and say, "Hey, buddy, hey, we could be pals, right?" You are overwhelmed. That earlier feeling that you had of being given the nod ahead of your father and being like, fire-breathing kittens, like the big boy pants now, you feel so hollowed out. Who was I to ever imagine that I was prepared for what's being asked of me? And the crushing weight of the realization of your lack in the face of this threat just hits you. And I believe that you suffer one mental condition as a result of that.
Hopeless for empathy, I assume?
That makes sense. Yeah, so mark that hopeless mental condition. And that will be the Spectre's turn, which brings us to Oz. Oz, you see this going down. What do you do?
Well, first a question, can we tell anything about the Spectre itself? Is there any like shreds of clothing or at least like a gender perhaps? Give us a clue as to who we might be looking at?
So you're still on the inside of the fence, and so you don't have a whole lot to go off of.
That's fair. Oz would like to reach into his bag, and he's going to throw rock salt at it. Hopefully as a quick action. Could I use... I'm going to use my ranged attack for that, if I could. It's just reflavoring a spear, basically. I have 2 for my ranged attack, and a ranged attack, I believe, is also precision. So I have a 4 in that. I am rolling a total of 66s. I don't even have that many. I'm going to re-roll one of the dice. I got, oh man, 5 of the rolls are not a single success. Last die. I do not succeed.
Ooh,
I got
you have an
bunch
option.
of 1s and 5s to push.
You do have an option. You could put. So, can you first explain pushing to the listeners?
Yes, in Vaesen, you have the ability to push your roll. It allows you to re-roll any of the dice that did not come up as 6s, but in doing so, you choose to take on a condition, if I am correct there. So why not? Why don't I push, since I didn't get a single 6 out of 6 die? It's not great. No, I'm not, okay. I am not meant to hit this thing with salt.
Oh, and what condition did you get for trying?
Do I pick or is that up to the DM?
I think it's related to the skill you used.
So I used precision. What would that be? Some sort of mental or precision is definitely physical. So some sort of physical condition.
Battered, I think.
All right. I take on the battered condition.
Yeah, I think, Ozzy, you totally would have had him with this rock salt if you hadn't tripped in your rush to help your comrade. And so as you go face down and smash your nose against the ground, you kind of pick yourself up, feeling a bit more battered, but the ghost remains.
That was my quick action. I can take a second quick action, correct?
I believe you can swap a quick action for your slow action if you have a second quick action. I would actually be surprised if a attack, a ranged combat isn't a slow action.
You're probably right. Then I don't know what I could do with a quick action right now, so I think that'll end my turn. I guess I could dodge, couldn't I? Even on the inside, I'll take the dodge, please.
So my understanding is that if you hold your fast action, which you can because you did a slow action, that if you get attacked, you can then spend it to dodge, essentially.
I would like to do that, if you please.
There you go. And then that brings us to Hefty.
Can I see if it's wearing more of like a librarian garb or more of like a miner garb?
I think you would notice that there's like a spectral pickaxe at its side.
Good call, Oz. I'm glad you reminded me to check for that. Spectral pickaxe, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Miners are no strangers to the dark that should be calling for this undead, because where it really belongs is in silence. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. I'm gonna try to lull it back to that eternal sleep, that eternal silence. So I'm a bard, I have to attack with my weapon. So that's my attack. I'm gonna now roll dice for that. I'm statted like a longbow. It's actually ukulele. I have to actually use it every time I attack. That's something that all the bards and fire-breathing kittens have to do. So here's my 4 dice to attack. So I only hit 52% of the time. But this is one of those times. Hey, it's a 6. And that is 2 damage as I try to lull it back to that eternal silence where it knows it belongs.
Yeah, the specter turns and regards you as you sing that mournful tune, and you don't get the sense that it is damaged or harmed by what you've done, but it pauses for a moment and then just dissipates away.
Did that work? Your song made it go away? Is it gone?
I guess so. A lot of people leave when I start playing music.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
Eric's
say
pretty
anything,
shook.
but,
He's not going to hop the fence again. He's going to walk around to the gate. And yeah, you could tell he's not in a good spot.
Oh, Arik, you look like you're not in a good spot. Would a song help you out?
We're not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. We shouldn't be here.
I mean, I think we did okay. You're overstressed from the encounter. Here, have a seat, sit down. Quick, spill some of this. He'll take something out of his bag. He breaks it open. He'll try to rub it under your nose. Whether you,
Yeah, he's just like kind of your not like aged, but like a goblin's older in like kind of like dog years or whatever. And he'll sit down and just kind of follow your direction, and without thinking about it, sniffs whatever it is that you put under his nose.
What kind of condition are you under?
I am hopeless.
Yeah, so I was suggesting a rest scene. Describe a scene together with one or several other PCs to recover from 2 conditions except broken once per day. And I'm kind of maxed. I didn't design Hefty this way, but I'm maxed out on music therapy for brain problems, which is weird because my music would probably cause brain problems. But the player's skill and the character skill are 2 different things. So I was proposing a rest where I would remove 2 conditions because you're not broken, you're hopeless, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
He's not broken.
Okay, so do you want a small song?
Oh, of course. Who would say no?
How do you feel?
Better.
What were you feeling back there?
Crushed that not only did I get my first shot, but my dad would witness my first failure and probably my death.
Oh, well, if it makes you feel better, everyone else is asleep.
Well, they might not be. We're playing music outside their windows.
Ukuleles actually are very restful. Don't you feel better?
I do feel better, actually.
No one saw it. And we would probably save you.
Oh, gee whiz. Thank you. I'm sorry I freaked out.
It's fine. It's your first time. Your tattoo's still pink.
Can that do anything for my nose? My nose still hurts. I'm glad he's better. I really am. But like,
I don't understand physical damage.
you see him like he takes his nose.
I
and
can
he's
maybe
like,
set that if you want. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but maybe Arik can, but then there was quite the nose motion there.
Arik, you actually have medicine as one of your...
I do. He could probably set that, but if Oz has it on his own.
Well, I can't. I don't think I can actually do it to myself.
So technically rest does apply to physical conditions too.
Okay.
It's just...
So if I know you have medical knowledge, I'll walk up to you and be like, I think I went too far this way. Can you?
Yeah, I read some books. This is probably going to hurt. So on 3, ready? 1, and he does it on 2.
You said on 3. He flares his nostrils in anger. He's like, oh, all right, that kind of worked. All right, no, I'm good. All right, I'm
Yeah,
good.
by 3 you would have been scared.
He just glares at you. All right.
Players, will your characters be doing anything else this evening?
Oz will probably invade the kitchen pretty quickly if left to his own devices and just completely take over if no one stops him.
I quick Googled how much possums sleep, and it is 80% of the day, so probably sleep.
Yeah, Arik is going to do some brooding and probably sleep intermittently.
There you go. The rest of the evening passes uneventfully for our fire-breathing kittens. And so you find your... Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Just are there any NPCs with me in the kitchen?
Depends how much noise you make. Not to start.
Oh, Ozzy
it is
would be
the middle
loud.
of the night.
Yeah, Oz is not quiet. He is using every pot and pan, unnecessarily so.
Yeah.
Anyone who walks in, he'd be like, you don't need to use 2 of those. That's fine.
Sarah Banks definitely comes down expecting that she's going to catch the children in the kitchen, and then sees it's you and has this moment of uncertainty as she's playing host, but also, what are you doing in the kitchen this late at night while we're supposed to be sleeping?
7 pots stacked up for no reason, and they're all filthy. Oz is like, hey, just doing a little late night cooking. We had a little encounter out there with a kind of glowing, walking individual. Has the town seen any ghosts? Is that like a normal thing? I can't go on unnoticed before.
You see her grip a necklace that she's wearing that has a rock with a hole cut through it where the line of the necklace goes through, and starts, idling her hands with it as she says, What do you mean, ghosts? Such talk isn't proper for this time of the night.
Oh, I don't mean to disturb you, miss, but there was a gentleman out there walking around, and he was just a set of bones, really, and a whole bunch of glowing lights. So I'm pretty sure he was dead. Unless there's some other thing going on in this town I don't know about. He looks genuinely confused.
I can certainly tell you that we don't have persistent ghost problems around here. I worry about what you're bringing with you.
That's really quite rude. He takes some salt and he throws it over his shoulder, regardless of anyone who's behind him.
I hope that in addition to late night cooking, you're also planning to do late night dishes.
Why? Just deadpan.
What
do you mean?
And just turns and goes.
All right. Oz got all he needed from her. Thank you.
And then with that, the rest of the night passes rather uneventfully.
I'm glad I wasn't in that scene, because I would have given her so much guff for blaming Oz for the ghost that she hired Oz to deal with.
They just hired you to deal with a curse. There's a curse that hit their family.
No. I wasn't in the scene. I didn't fight her.
Yeah.
I did not throw hands. I'm just glad I wasn't in that scene.
Tiny little possum hands.
Yeah.
Y'all wake to the rising sun the next day. Tell me what happens next.
Yeah, Arik rises and straightens himself up, gets ready for the day, and tries to find his bravery. That shook him, for sure. That thing did not want to be friends back. Maybe that was kind of stupid, and gotta remember to be better next time. And we'll go down and see if we'll open his door and see if the other door is open or there's people moving about.
Hefty looks dead.
Oz will get out of bed after having cooked for a good portion of the night. Poke Hefty.
Nothing really happens, and she smells bad.
Yeah, okay. He's maybe I'll cook her later. We'll see. He's a goblin. She's dead. Anyway.
Yeah, no, my mouth is lolling open. As you continue to make more noise around the room, I'm like, oh yeah, awakeness.
He was like, as you wake, you see him sharpening a rather large knife above you. Oh, you're awake! Hi, good morning.
Yes.
I made breakfast. He did. There's a ton of food downstairs.
Okay, you're fine.
After that, he will get his stuff together and head downstairs. And he will go to whatever serves for food storage, and he'll just start taking out just mounds of food that he made. It's all cooked. It's been heated before.
As y'all
whether
are
it's-
breaking fast, Mayor Banks is, "So, what's the first step of your investigation this morning?"
Golly gee, sir, you got ghosts for sure.
I'm sorry. Well, I hope you take care of that problem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll certainly do our best. But we're going to investigate as soon as we fill our stomachs. I think we'll head out and see what we can find out about what's going on here.
You guys thought I would prioritize something over food? Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, you guys eat up to your fill, and then do you have any further questions for the Banks, or where do you want to go?
We know that the miner died while working in the mine.
Mm-hmm. That's what you were told.
Did Banks mention whether the body was recovered?
If you press him on that, he would say, I don't believe so.
Did the mine collapse? Is his final resting place inaccessible?
I
That could cause a haunting
don't
right
go
there,
down
sir.
into the mines myself. Look at me.
Well, not you, but you own the mines, don't you? You could send someone.
Arik will kind of put a hand on the forearm of Oz there, and maybe we should go talk to their family this morning.
Or the mine manager? Perhaps the mine manager might be able to tell us the circumstances behind, Sometimes recovering a body can kill more people. So maybe we should talk to the person. I don't think this mayor knows what happened.
Oz will reluctantly allow himself to get pulled away. He was getting a little heated with the man.
So let's talk to both the family and the mine manager, them both.
I've instructed Miss Royce to accompany you and assist you as you get your bearings about the town. She has duties with the visiting envoys, but I'm certain that she'll be able to make time for you and help you get acclimated first.
This town isn't big, right?
It is not a big town, no.
Yeah, Arik would step in there and, gee, mister, no, we can find our way. I'm sure she has plenty of things to do that, no, we're quite capable. But thank you.
Suit yourself. You are the experts in this regard.
And just before we leave, what's the name of the family and the mine manager?
Miss Royce could possibly answer managerial questions that you have. I believe Vaesen was the name of the fellow. Phineas Vaesen.
That's the husband or that's the mine manager?
No, Phineas Vaesen is the fellow who died.
Oh, all right, bye.
Good day.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree,
what's-
Oz.
Yeah, once we're outside, Eric's like, I don't think we should trust them. That's why I didn't want her to come with. I'm also kind of skeptical of the mine manager. They will probably follow whatever it is that the boss said to say.
Yeah, but they'll know where to point. Dead guy, that way.
Yeah, just, I don't know. It seemed like there are people that are likely to lie to us.
Dead guy
Yeah.
to the right, not to the left. Investigators.
I think you guys are right. They're definitely hiding something. I'll bring up my conversation with was it the wife? Or the...
Are you
from
talking
the
about
previous
the,
evening?
yes, the Sarah Banks, the late
Yeah,
night?
Sarah Banks.
Yeah.
I had a strange conversation with Miss Banks last evening while I was cooking. I brought up ghosts, and she got very She went into denial immediately. It was really, really odd. Something's definitely unusual here. They're definitely lying to us.
Okay, so best case scenario, we fix the curse. Worst case scenario, bad people bite it. You're saying it's a win-win for the adventure this time?
As long as we don't get caught up in it and die ourselves due to some bad people who did some bad things.
Well, the kids didn't do anything. They shouldn't have to suffer.
That's true enough. You're right. Fine.
Also, super weird stuff. When my dad was going in there, and he pulled a little cover off a rock, and it was like yellow and black and glowing. He didn't want us to see it.
Can we ask your dad about that, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Something strange is afoot in this town.
No, it wasn't a foot. It was a rock.
It's maybe I don't understand this common tongue very well. You see, it's a saying. And he'll like trail off and trying to explain it.
Yeah, to the Vaesens.
Hmm?
How do you plan on finding that?
Play Hey Mister.
It's a small town. We could probably just ask somebody.
Yeah.
Should we prepare like a cover story or like a condolence package or just walking in? I just want to know.
I was just going to say I was an adventurer investigating some strange disturbances around the mines.
I think we should start with how sorry we were to hear. And then say we're here to help and we're the fire-breathing kittens who have been hired to help solve the mystery.
Are y'all just out on the lawn of the Banks household?
I assume kind of like on the lawn walking toward
We're strolling
town.
out, I think.
The old walk and talk.
Yeah. As you make your way out the gate and are having this conversation, you'd see that the door of the Banks household cracks and a little head pokes out and is like looking out and watching y'all.
Is it a diaper-wearing teenager?
No, not that smaller head. The older, the technically eldest of the Banks children, boy about 5-6 years of age, you would guess.
Thinking about curses, I mean, I guess they can. It's not entirely uncommon to target the family, I suppose, but to target children is a little unusual. Normally, it's more focused on the individual who caused the resentment or the bad feelings. It's not impossible, just unusual.
I agree. It seems heavy-handed.
But yeah, let's head to the household of the recently deceased. Maybe they can shed some light on what's going on.
Yeah, as we go, we'll just play Hey Mister. Excuse me, sir. Do you know where Mr. Vaesen lived? We're looking for the family.
Random passerbyers like, a Vaesen house? That's on the south side of town.
Small towns. All right.
Yeah. As you make your way through the town center, you pass by the train station and the inn that's in town. You see Ivan actually is leaving the inn, signing out for his day. He's like, hey there, boy.
Hey, Dad. You didn't hear any weird stuff last night, right?
I can't say that I did. I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, me too. Super asleep the whole time. Anyway, what was that rock?
Beg pardon?
The rock that the mayor guy had.
Oh, you saw the rock, the mayor's rock. Yes, that's it's some new mineral that the mining operation found down in the hollow.
What kind of mineral? It was like glowing.
Yeah, it's some strange new element. He thinks that the railroad might have interest in it for a new fuel source. I'm going to be checking out the mining operation later this morning.
Okay. Hey, be like careful. I think that guy's a little shady.
He's a politician. Of course he's going to be a little shady. Gives you a good-natured ribbing in the side.
Well, he's kind of cursed by a ghost, so like different kind of shady.
Oh, that's a horse of a different color.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll make sure to keep my nose to the grindstone when it comes to the dealings with Mayor Banks.
Okay. If you find anything relevant to our investigation, I would appreciate your cooperation, sir.
Well, I'm headed down to the hollow, as I said, a little bit later this morning. I see you're headed to the south side of town. I'll walk with you part of the ways.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know about the recent deaths in the hollow that you're headed to?
Yes. Mayor Banks mentioned that the scope of the mine operation exceeded the capacities of his local town, which is part of his interest in selling it.
Do you know that the vengeful ghost is the miner and may perhaps cause like a cave-in or a mass casualty incident at the mining operation? It's not yet safe, sir.
I don't know what I think about this ghost talk, but no, I had not heard any of this.
Could you perhaps hold off until the investigation by the fire-breathing kittens corrals the negative entity and makes it safe?
Yeah, this is an active investigation area, Dad.
Well, time is money, as you know. But I suppose for you, my boy, I could wait till this afternoon to go down and check out the mine. That should give you more than enough time to put this ghost matter to rest.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad we didn't kill your dad this episode.
We got plenty more this
Current
season.
problem. Entire time, Ozzy spent the conversation looking for a horse of shifting prismatic color. Where's the horse?
Do you know if, he, is briefly sidetracked by that interjection? But then he reorients. He says, do you know if it's safe to check out the Agra development in the mine?
I might stay out of the mines altogether, Dad.
Do we need to warn the goblins that are going in and out of there?
What goblins?
Yeah, there's an envoy, the Mossfur clan or something of that nature. They're here checking out some different Agra opportunities in part of the disused mining corridor.
Oh, let's warn them out of there. If you could do that, that'd be really great, actually.
I think they might be down there already.
Oh, maybe going and talking to the mine operator is a good idea.
Yeah, I agree, Hefty.
Yeah, let's go to the mines. Of course they're in the mines. Why wouldn't they already be down there? He's just like grumbling to himself, kicking the dirt.
Now, I am willing to detour for the family because we have to walk through the south side of town right? So, is it on the way?
Yes, both the Hollow and the Wesson House are on the south side of town.
Yeah, but that's going to take time, and we might have an imminent danger.
You can tell that Oz is kind of in a hurry to get to the mine, but he's also fairly logical, so you might be able to convince him if you want to make a side trip.
Yeah, I'm also kind of on the fence. It makes sense to stop on the way, but it also feels like they might be in more imminent danger in the mine.
Well, it is the daytime, except underground, where it is dark.
We also don't know the ghost rules.
Yeah, that's true.
There are ghost rules? No.
Maybe, okay, tell you what. 1 hour max detour for the family, and if it takes longer than that to find them, we give up?
All right. Extra information is probably a good idea.
And like a
Mod and
keepsake
raise no fool.
from the loved one to be like, you're not this kind of man. Your wife and you had this teddy bear that you loved. Remember? Remember how she would be ashamed of what you're doing right now. Something like that.
No, we have to give her a pottery lesson, first of all, is what we have to do. And then you have your ukulele. You can see the song. It'll come together. We'll figure it out.
Oh, my.
Sorry, Martha.
If y'all are going to be stopping to check out this house, you want me to go on and give word to those goblins in the mine?
Yes. Don't go in the mine yourself, though. I don't want to put you in danger, but please, yes, get word to the mine. Get them out of there.
I believe that it is in the mine itself, on one of the branched paths.
Do you have a map of the mine by any chance?
Yeah, that seems like a thing he would have been given by the mayor as part of him going out to take a look. He presents it for your group, and it is largely it's basically there was a primary, dig shaft. Off to one side, it opened up into some natural caverns and aquifers, and so they did a branch that went the other direction, and just basically dug down that direction until it stopped. And Ivan relates to your group that he was told that there is this envoy that is checking out that aquifer area, apparently really interested in the cavern flora and fauna that's growing in there for its gustomary opportunities. So Ivan shares with the group the map of the mine and the sense that he has about where the goblin envoys are hanging out within the mine. Do you want to give him any further instruction before he parts ways with y'all?
Do you have any religious iconography to any of the good aligned light gods? It can't hurt to have it on you.
Well,
I can't say that I carry such things.
Then it might make them mad.
Well, I don't know if you're superstitious or if it'll help at all, but I don't think it can hurt.
I don't truck much with this supernatural talk.
Right. Well, enjoy telling the ghost that you don't believe in it.
Very good, young man.
Yeah, that'll be effective.
Yeah. With that, I believe that Ivan Jorgsen continues on towards the mine, which you can see in the distance, the entrance to it. And I believe that our fire-breathing kittens peel off towards the Vaesen house.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually feels like a nice little break point for our first half of this episode. And so we'll say a brief goodbye, and then we'll join y'all again for the second half. And so joining us for this first half, we have Hefty Didaphilus, Arik Jorgsen,
Hey, gang.
and Osmond Bonebrew.
You all look famished. Make sure you get something to eat before you go.
Yeah, and if you leave us a review, we'll read it on air.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, "Heartfelt thanks to my long-time neighbour Fatima for your kindness and a sense of community that makes our neighbourhood a better place." End quote. You can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. Did you know we have paperback, ebook, hardcover, and audiobook adaptations of our adventures on Amazon and Audible? Is there an episode of Fire Breathing Kittens that would make someone you know smile? Telling them about it would help us. Cheers!
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for rejoining us for the second half of our Vaesen game. Before we dive right back into it, we've got a recap of the first half.
Yes, the party has gone to the town of, I'm sorry, what was the town name?
Miners Hollow.
Miners Hollow. I like that name. The party has arrived at the town of Miners Hollow, and they quickly proceeded to meet with the mayor, who told us that his family is under a curse. He believes anyway. He presents the evidence of his apparently infant son having been rapidly aged to teenagerhood, at least physically and not mentally. And he himself complains of physical ailments, weakness of him and his family. After the characters pressed him for more information, we find out that he is likely the owner of a local mine where there was a recent death. He does not seem to care to discuss the matter at length and tends to deflect about any specifics. One of the characters met with his father, who was also meeting with the mayor. As the characters left their own meeting with the mayor, the father entered the room, and as the door shut, the player characters were just able to see the mayor reveal a yellow and black rock right before the door was closed. The party then retired to their rooms to discuss matters, and during the night, a apparition was encountered. At least we saw a glowing light near the fence line, but it didn't seem to enter the property. The players woke up and quickly ran downstairs. One of the players left the property immediately and tried to embrace, or at least discuss something with the apparition, which quickly attacked him. The party engaged. We entered combat, but the apparition quickly disappeared after roughly one round of combat. However, the players were, at least two of them, were left with debilitating conditions after the encounter and were forced to retire and rest again. During the night, we met with the mayor's wife, who gave us a little bit of information about the town seeming to, or at least the family seeming to not wanting to talk about any kind of apparitions. And there does seem to be a general superstition in the town itself that the players have picked up on, talking with the different characters that they interact with. We then we encounter the same character's father again, who is involved with the mine that has recently been, or the death recently occurred in, and we learned that Osmond, his goblin clan, is down in the mines for some untold or unknown job that they're excavating or something of that nature. Osmond quickly wants to get them out of there. However, we are on our way to go talk to the family of the recently deceased to see what information can be gathered.
Very good. And with that, our fire-breathing kittens approach the door of the Vaesen household.
Yeah, Arik will reach up and rap on the door.
You rap on the door, and it
It opened by itself?
Yeah, it just it cracks open.
Oh.
Oh, gee. Hey, hello?
There is no answer.
Oh, no.
And Arik will kind of look at Oz and Hefty like, what's the move here?
I'm gonna sniff. GM, can I please make I'm gonna check which. There's like the passive vigilance, and
Vigilance?
then there's like
Yeah.
vigilance can be used to interpret situations you're monitoring. But it's like to notice someone sneaking up on you. What's the right roll to make here?
You know, my inclination would probably be vigilance as well. Just that sense of you are presented with a situation, you're trying to assess it. Observation could maybe make a case for it, but it sounds like that's more related to interpersonal stuff.
Right, empathy based. Okay, so I'm going to make a vigilance check for sniffing for, unfortunately, corpse smells. Oh, wow, that's 3 ones. That's really very bad. Do I perhaps, get the wrong answer?
I don't mind telling you, even with no successes, the information that presents to you, you don't smell a corpse, whether or not that's accurate. And you do smell like what I think is probably for you a fond association of like trash and rotting food kind of stuff.
Oh, it smells fine, guys. It's just normal. It smells like home, honestly.
Can you describe normal, maybe? Because, I don't think maybe your normal is, all the way the same as mine.
I already stepped inside.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're in.
Yeah, y'all enter the house, and the things that present again for the party, based off of your own background, so you can apply your own subjective experience to this. But there is food that has gone bad, various stages of rot. It seems like it has been left out. There are dirty dishes, stacked by a wash bin, left unattended. Probably on a scale of a month or more of having gone out. So a lot of stuff is hard or dried. Most of that, it is not ripely rotted. The bed is made. Dishes are left out. That's what immediately presents to you. What are you particularly looking for?
Do we know when the accident happened? I was thinking it was just the last day or so, but I guess we didn't actually ask.
I'm starting to suspect it was a month ago.
Yeah, you do, as you recollect back, you do recall that Phineas' death was older or further back in time. Oleg had died more recently.
Yeah, Arik will kind of take a cursory glance. The food is a bad sign. That seems like a sudden thing, but he'll see if there's any other signs of obvious struggle. A door kicked in, or a body, or pools of blood, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, give me an investigation roll. And if everybody wants to, we can just have everybody throw some investigation rolls, and we know that you all are searching the house. If you want to name explicitly what your character is looking for or seeking to get information about, that'll shape my answer and response.
No successes for Arik.
1 success for Hefty. I think what I'm specifically looking for is any sign of more than one person living here.
One success for Osmond. I am also looking for signs of some sort of struggle. If there's food left on the table, that does suggest something very abrupt happened.
Yeah. So what I will give you in response to those rolls, I will tell you there is no sign of struggle. A more thorough or detailed assessment of the food leads you to believe that maybe this was leftovers of breakfast that were left in a hurry and never returned to. Things that were set aside in cupboards or in the cooling chest. That's the stuff that's really kind of spoiled in that way. As to Hefty's investigation for any other occupants or people that have lived here, it looks like this was a solo occupant house, but I think with that success, I am going to say that you find some level of correspondence between Phineas and Miss Karen Royce.
You guys, can somebody with pockets take these letters?
Sure, Hefty. And Arik will stash them away.
Do they smell like perfume or do they smell like sabotage?
They smell like perfume.
Okay.
Well, how would you identify sabotage as, through the snoot?
I recently learned how to read and talk at the same time. But yeah, okay, letters, we're good.
Is there anything of note in the contents of the letter?
Yeah, give me an observation roll on this. Or investigation.
Investigation, I have 5. I don't find anything. I rolled 5 dice and didn't get a single success.
You can push it. You want to damage your brain?
Tempting. No. I don't think a letter would prompt Oz to push it, so he would probably put the letter down and start looking around the rest of the room.
Yeah, I mean, you still are able to read the letter. I'm just not going to give you anything bonus. It's correspondence between Phineas and Karen. Some of it is just related to perfunctory manners about the mine itself. Karen Royce filling in the role of mine manager. And so detailing notes around that. There are also some letters that have a more personal bent. It seems as though there was perhaps some early courtship that was taking place between the two, and some conversations related to faith and belief and things of that matter.
She was the mine manager and the person who died was someone she cared about? And she greeted us at the train stop like nothing happened? She made the decision that led to her cared about person's death and was just chill? I'm just adding this name to my suspect list.
Yeah, gee whiz, gang, that sounds like somebody we add to the top of the list.
Yeah.
Was she ever present during any of the times we mentioned or were inquiring about our interest in this?
She guided us from the train station to Mayor Banks's house.
And then she left, though. She didn't stick around to hear anything that we were discussing.
True, and then Mayor Banks recommended her the next morning as a town guide. Also, I write down these things. I don't have a memory for nothing. I use this pen. Hefty shows you a pen.
She could have been on the other side of the door, though.
I'm just curious if she was reacting at all to anything we were mentioning and any of the questions we had asked. But she wasn't present. Definitely seems like a person of interest, though.
Well, at least we know where she is right now.
They're all nodding. You all know where she is right now, right?
She had business in town somewhere, right?
She's the mine manager, so she's going to be at the mine. So we should go to the mine because there's an important day for them because they have got goblins and yellow black stone people coming, and she's probably there. It's weird that she was offered to us as a guide on the day that she was also expected to do a large business meeting in the mine.
Yeah, but if we were supposed to be guided to the mine, that sort of makes sense.
We were being guided around town, though. Anyway, so suspicion. Let's go to the mine.
Yeah, okay.
How many other rooms are there in the home before we exit?
It's a very small home. Common room with the kitchen kind of part of the flow, bedroom, probably outhouse out back.
Ozzy is going to quickly, if no one lives here, he's probably, it appears that way anyway, I'm going to completely overturn the place. I'm looking for any signs of recent life or anything of interest. Investigation?
Yeah, I'll just, because y'all rolled at the top, additionally, I think you would find some of the same sun symbols that you saw on the fence of the mayor's home. There's a pendant with a sun symbol. There's the discarded half of what you imagine is some kind of tool that's missing its head. Is there anything? There's nothing else that shows that people were here recently. It seems like this has largely just been kind of, abandoned or blocked off since its occupant's demise.
Except for that open door.
Is it possible that no one came back here after the guy died? Like nobody?
That seems super sad.
Or they just didn't do dishes.
I have to think anybody coming in here for any reason would have at least thrown this away. None of the townsfolks?
Did we do dishes? As we leave, did we do dishes? No.
Arik kind of looks down and ashamed, like, no.
That's right.
It's already moldy now. I'm not gonna.
Just saying.
Let's just go to the mine.
Okay.
It's definitely up. People are disappearing at the mine now. There's a whole bunch of they're trying to gather. It seems like as many as they can into the mine. Let's go see what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Now the question is, do we go in a side entrance because mines actually have a lot of air shafts, or do we go in the main route and get lied to? Do we sneak up on them doing an occult sacrifice, or
let me ask,
do we
what is
let
your
them...
character? Is that what your character asks?
No, this is not my character voice.
Ozzy isn't thinking like that yet. Well, I guess he would be.
Arik doesn't know anything about mines.
That's true. Maybe we don't go right to the ceremony or whatever it is, the grand entrance. Let's see if we can find another way in. Maybe sneak around the area a little bit and just see if we see anything unusual.
Okay.
I'll admit that the GM's knowledge of mining is probably about on a level with Eric's. So I'm like, would there be air shafts for this that are person-sized?
No, they can just osmote the gases that they need from the soil.
Well, but I mean, you can have an air's a lot smaller than a typical person, so you could have something that's not like a point of entry, that's still an airflow, presumably.
Let's do a quick Google search. Mine air shaft images. Do we want old-timey mines?
Yeah, I think it's like an old-timey mine.
What era is the mine from?
Okay, I'm going to do a quick screen share because this one looks kind of old-timey. It is just a large, scary hole.
Yeah.
You guys can see this? And this is
okay.
also...
I've actually seen those. Yeah, you could just rappel down those.
Yeah, I'm picturing it's a little bit more like the second image. For those that are at home and not getting this visual, it's your classic fantasy mine where there's this rocky outcropping that has a hole and then kind of a graded slope downward.
Yeah,
it's pretty wide open at the beginning stages.
There's another one that's just a bunch of trees, and then if you're not paying attention, a pit to doom.
Mm-hmm.
It has a fence very, very kindly erected around it, but that looks like it's forever. I can tell. Anyway,
it does look like they could have done a little better job on the fence.
Just if you're walking a bit too fast, the fence won't stop you. Anyway, so now we're all familiar with mine air shafts. Everyone's been learning something in this episode of Fire Breathing Kittens, but it does not mean that we can go down it. It does not mean that we can go down it easily. And it does not mean that we're going to find it. So, GM, you could just be like, yeah, your idea. It's okay, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so time is of the essence, right? How long do we spend looking for this pit that is not really marked and is hard to see from a distance?
Not
Oz
long.
is more interested. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we got to get your people out of there. All the people.
Yeah, we do, but it does kind of feel like we're just walking into the lion's den a little bit, doesn't it? Can we at least...
Yeah, we're adventurers. Isn't that what we do? We take on the dangers so nobody else does.
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of civilians down in there right now as is.
All right.
You don't have to run faster than the bear. You just have to run faster than your friend.
Luckily, possums aren't fast.
All right, let's go to the mine. See whatever show razzle dazzle they have set up for us.
Yeah, so you approach the hollow, which is this mine on the south side of town. It looks like it is a cave that has been expanded, built out, secured, but that is taking advantage of a lot of, natural underground space related to the aquifer in the region. And so you go in and it starts out pretty natural and then becomes pretty, clearly mined out, and then very quickly breaks again into a big natural opening with wide open underground spaces that, for the purposes of creating a mental picture, we'll say kind of floods off to the right. And there is also a more, clearly man-made shaft that peels off towards the left. This junction has been expanded just a little bit, kind of opened up and structured out. And as you approach that, the sound of your footfalls echoing in the distance draws the attention of a group of folks who are in that natural aquifer range, who there's a trio of goblins who are taking samples of lichen and mold, and you see that one goblin is attempting to catch wildlife that's in some of the pools of water. Karen Royce is standing a bit at a distance, just kind of observing, and I think probably all observing with her is Ivan Jorgsen, who they're just kind of taking in the scene. But I think Ivan and Karen's heads swivel towards your trio as you hit that juncture. And Karen, I think, would be the first one that, fire-breathing kittens. Come, let me show you here. I know that you already know Ivan here. Allow me to introduce you to our guests from the Mossfoot clan. And the trio of goblin heads turn to greet this group, and they go, Ozzy! And they abandon what they're doing, and they come flood your group as well. Ozzy, you recognize Gash Chiptooth, and trailing Gash is Bulbcar and Nog Keeley.
Guys, what are you doing here? Really? What are you doing here?
There's lots of great food options here. We kind of made a connection. The Mayor Banks reached out to us and brought us to the attention of this aquifer here, and there's just so many delicious, delectable treats here.
Yeah.
You gotta try some of this moss. It's spicy moss. I don't know how they make it.
I normally would, that. But I'm gonna pass, and I think you should probably stop too. In fact, take everything you have, literally just drop it, and I think you guys should just go. Trust me, you don't. You just guys want to get out of the mine, all right? And he leans in close, and he's like, "We saw ghosts."
Nog Keeley grabs at the little tin hat pendant that she wears around her neck, her object of ret skirt. The goblins say, "Ghosts? Wait! What do you?" They immediately like huddle up with you, and they're like, "Tell us more. What's going on? Give us the skinny."
We're not sure, but the mayor's being haunted. His whole family. I think somebody died down here, and they died bad. And I think something worse is about to happen.
People die lots of places, right? And if it's just out for the mayor, and they're like, yeah, if it's just out for the mayor, like, that's not for us, right? Like, we're probably fine.
I mean, look, if you want to risk a ghost in the mines, first of all, what would Grubma think? All right? I told you guys there's a ghost here, and you're all mucking about just for food? You know she wouldn't handle that kind of business.
But these are exotic delicacies. You can't get food like this back around home.
Look, something bad's going on here. We don't know what it is, but there's going to be like a fight or something. Sacrifices, maybe. You got to go.
You could tell that they don't love the talk of ghosts, but they also don't love just like going in and abandoning what they found here.
Yeah, well, so like the mayor is like involved with the mine, and like a guy he died here bad, and like they didn't get his body out, and maybe you just gather up a bunch of moss and figure out the best ways to cook it for the next day or so, and then you can come back when the mine's open when we're done our investigation.
Oh, we can come back. This is going to be like a long-term thing we set up, I think. We're going to set up like a settlement here. You could open up like a restaurant here. Like there's real opportunity here, Ozzy.
I get what you guys are saying, but you can't really open a restaurant if you're dead.
That is true. Yes, we have. Yes. I don't know. I've never heard of anyone who's opened up a restaurant after they've died.
I met a dead guy last night, and he didn't have a restaurant.
Oh man, yeah. I think Bulbcar like idly grabs like a crawfish and just like shoves the thing live and whole into his mouth and starts chewing.
Ozzy just like grabs his face and is like, oh, they're so stubborn. We're not going to convince them, are we?
I think they should all grab an armload and then get out of here while we investigate.
Yeah, guys, take whatever you want. Just go.
But we can come back later then, right?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, we could take a break for we've had a good hard working morning. We could take a load off for a while.
Great.
Uh-huh.
I'll walk away from them, muttering something along the lines of like, if they weren't all my cousins, I would just let evolution have them and be done with it. My mother would never forgive me.
Well, yeah, but the thing about evolution, you don't know what they'll survive.
That lot? Not much.
So, you and your friends get this little matter sorted?
Well, we're still looking into it, Ed. There's actually maybe some questions we should ask Miss Royce if she's available.
Yeah, so if you could step outside of the mine so we can question her, that would really help us.
Oh, right. You want me to not be in the mine. I remember that now. I got so fixated on the opportunities.
Yeah, Dad, it's official fire-breathing kittens business, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave, sir.
Well, I certainly don't want to stand in your way, son. I'll see myself out. Miss Royce? Certainly, if there's anything I can do to be helpful, the mayor instructed me to provide you assistance this morning. If there's any way I can help with your investigation.
Can I make a manipulation roll? Get 7 dice to it, and what I want to make her do, because it says, all right, I'll read manipulation. It says, influence how other people think, feel, or act by negotiating, haggling, lying, flirting, bribing, using social skills, etc. When manipulating someone, you describe what you hope to achieve and what you are doing. I can trade, purchase items, services, etc., whatever. So I'm describing what I'm doing. I'm hoping to make her admit the truth, and I'm doing that by pressuring her. It's sort of like the opposite of bribing. Instead of being like, here's something good for you, I'm going to be like, here's something bad for you.
I think that's called a threat, right?
No. It's like guilt. I'm going to be like, we were just in that house. Oh, I got to play the ukulele. We were just in that house, and it was really sad. It smelled like trash and rot. And it was like no one cared about Phineas. I feel like the landlord is probably just going to have everybody clear it out and get a new tenant. And it'll be like they never existed, and no one will remember Phineas. The mold that goes in the trash on the plates is going to be the last sign that he was alive. We didn't even wash the dishes as we walked out. And what I'm trying to do is pressure her into feeling bad And letting the truth slip. She can lie too, but just like she cared about this person, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you for the role play, you've already got one success on the board, but roll your dice and tell me how many additional successes to influence the role play.
That is 2 6s.
There you go. Yeah, she tears up and is like sniffling and is like, it is so sad. Mayor Banks has been asking me to get the house cleared and ready for sale, but I haven't been able to bring myself to go back into Finn's home.
Does she look sincere when she says this?
She does look sincere.
Well, sometimes when a person dies, all we can do is honor them by making sure what killed them doesn't kill other people. But, expanding the mine operation is not likely to do that. How exactly... Well, I mean, it depends how he died. How exactly did Finn die?
Well, he died in the mine.
Was it the wrong gas? Or was it like a rock crushing? Or was it like stabbed himself in the foot with a pickaxe and got gangrene? Or like, what are we talking about here?
Vebjorn doesn't really like to talk about it much, and I haven't gone into the depths of the hollow to see for myself. I was happy enough when Mayor Banks, after speaking with Vebjorn, just said we were going to close up that side of the mine and leave that operation for someone whose outfit was better prepared. I honestly didn't want to know any more details.
You left Finn there?
I believe Vebjorn when he said that it was awful and that Finn was dead and there wasn't anything I could do for him.
But he didn't have any people? He hasn't been buried? Nobody said words?
No one's gone down there.
What's up, Bjorn?
Vebjorn?
What?
Vebjorn Iverson? The Finn and Vebjorn, they were on the mining crew together.
And is Vebjorn around?
You probably would find him at the stop in if he's not at his house.
Do you guys have like working hours?
He's hung up his pickaxe.
Oh, okay.
We halted the mining operation after it was a pretty small scale. I mean, it was Vebjorn and it was Finn. And
that's pretty small scale. It doesn't get much smaller.
We hung it up after half the crew died.
This is a mining town of 2 miners?
Yep.
It's a small town.
It is a small town.
We used to be bigger.
By one. By twice as big.
We used to be bigger before.
And
Things have shrunk down.
Is there a reason for the decline in population?
Oh, just that, the mines started to dry up, and so a lot of people moved on, and, we're the folks that you see around are the folks that didn't, just had deep roots and didn't have anywhere else that they wanted to go. There was kind of just enough to kind of keep the town moving. That's part of why the mayor's so interested in making this connection with the Mossfoot clan. He's got this whole, restaurant tourism angle he's trying to play to get some more economic prospects for the community.
I lean in and whisper,
But goblins eat poison.
It's not poison to us.
oh, I don't think you heard it. Okay, where did they say Vebjorn was?
She suggested you'd either find him at his house or more likely at the Stop Inn, which is the inn in town center near the train station.
Yeah, we walked past that on the way here.
It's where Ivan's staying.
Oh, yeah.
Out of curiosity, when we saw a couple of the characters in there leave, did anyone seem upset by that?
Leaving the mine?
Yes. The fact that we were having some of, I was trying to convince the goblins to leave, he was trying to convince his father to leave. Was anyone paying attention to us or seemed upset by that?
I mean, upset in the sense that you're disrupting what they were up to, but not overly put out.
No one was like in the corner like, no, my evil plans.
Nah.
It's just you and Miss Royce and us.
I was, kind of looking right at her.
Well, should we hit the stop in, or do you think we go down in the depths and see if we can maybe bring his body out and give him peace?
That might be enough to put the spirit to rest. It's possible.
But if it doesn't put him to rest, we don't know anything if we don't talk to Mr. Iverson.
Oh, I know. As the mine manager, Ms. Rice knows where they were that day and could just point us there and also loan us a mine cart. We don't really need Vebjorn, Except to tell us there was a giant worm and is very dangerous, dragon attack, you won't survive, blah, blah. Who cares? Cart, location on map.
Well, I do like the idea of a mine cart.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just at the bottom, and she, guides you back out to that junction. It's just like, Vebjorn said they were just at the deepest point of the mine. So if you just follow this, straight out, you can take this mine cart and just keep going down. There'll be a couple of, little branches off, but those are just different, petered out veins that, were branched off the main shaft. But if you just follow it to the bottom, that's where Vebjorn said they were.
Great. I'm going to need chalk and a lantern.
Yep. Those are things that are easily procured in a nearby little shed kind of thing that was set up inside the mine for holding gear.
And a cage with a small bird.
Yeah, that also seems like a thing that they would have.
Excellent. We're all ready. Okay, let's go. Anything else we need, guys? We're going to ride the minecart down, obviously. Right?
I wanted to ask her just two questions. What they were mostly pulling out of the mine and how they traveled in the mine. And I'm really more interested, I would like to know what they pull out of the mine, but I'm more interested in her answers in that. When she responds, is she responding like she has any idea of what actually transpires in the mine? Like, is she actually the mine manager? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
I'm getting that kind of vibe.
Yeah. So what you get from her is technical jargon that leads you to, and a competency around mines that the GM doesn't have, that leads you to believe that she was providing an official oversight capacity, and tells you the ores that they're pulling out, probably like iron and maybe tin. Those are reasonable things that people pull out of the ground. You've moved her, and she's trying to be forthcoming. I think that with the successes that y'all had earlier, that she would even, and she's seen that you have a familial connection to Ivan. She'd say, oh, the thing that was most recently pulled out was this new kind of mystery mineral. We had Oleg, researching it and identifying it, and he didn't know what it was.
But what was that?
What was what?
Who was researching it?
Vebjorn and Phineas, they had struck a new vein of some kind of mineral that they had never seen before. They got out a big rock chunk, this kind of black and yellowish ore. Oleg was our town sage before he passed. He was studying it, and he wasn't really certain what it was. It didn't map to anything he was familiar with, but the studies he was doing led him to believe that this could be some form of powerful alternative energy source to coal, and so that was where Mayor Banks reached out to your father and the Draws Railroad Company, looking to see if they had interest in coming in to buy the mining rights and take over the operations of digging that out.
You might want to tell your dad the rock is poisonous.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if poisons cause ghosts.
Okay, all right. Your dad can keep the rock. I don't really care about him. All right, let's take this minecart.
All right, if that's all, good luck.
Bye. Don't kill any more of your loved ones.
She said someone wanted to buy the mine.
She cries, walks away.
Yeah, it sounds like they're in talks with the railroad to take over operations of the mine.
Interesting. Okay.
a fuel source implies it's reacting to something and like, either exploding or like giving off zaps or like, I don't know, poison, rock. Anyway, so we're gonna go stand in a bunch of it. 360 surrounding ourselves with it. Let's go do it.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, play Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme, and push that minecart down the hill.
Ozzy's like, hey, do we get that bird in the cage? And then he looks at the possum and he's like, we're good.
Wow. Yeah, we do have a bird.
You guys ride the minecart as far as it goes. It does stop before getting, the full length of it. It gets, what you imagine is very nearly the bottom. The glow of your lantern does fade out just a little bit, but the path has leveled out. And if you proceed forward, very shortly, you start to make out what appears to be the deepest depth, like where you hit rock wall, and the shape of a figure lying on the ground.
Right here?
Yeah, just right here, yo.
Just like right here?
Just like right here.
Yeah, nobody came to get him.
Step 1. You guys, we can investigate later. We should... This right here, this easy, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah, Arik will hop out and see if he can tell what killed this person. That might be a medicine check, maybe?
Yeah. So, before you make the medicine check, I'm going to need each of you to roll a d6.
Oh, that's a 1.
4.
A 6.
1, a 4, and a 6. How exciting! We'll do all three. So as you approach the form of what you very rightly imagine is Phineas Wesson's body, each of you are struck, and I'm going to say that we had Arik had 1, and who had the 6?
I had a 6.
And all right, Hefty had the 6. All right, cool. So Arik, I'm going to need you to roll a, this is a fear test again. And so following the previous reference for a fear test, you're going to choose logic or empathy and roll against that. Hefty, you're going to be rolling vigilance. And Osmond, you are going to be rolling, where is that one? Just had it. Oh, observation.
That is no successes.
A single success. I have a lot of vigilance.
0 successes for Oz.
My friends are about to leave me in a mine. They're going to hop back in this minecart. They're going to leave me with a dead body. I'm going to be like, guys.
I feel like Hefty's just going to leave and not tell anybody. I'm like,
Stranded at the bottom of the mine with my friends screaming and escaping with the minecart going back the way they came.
All right. So starting with Arik, you fail the curse of fear that descends upon you. And so you are going to need to roll a d6.
5.
5. So for 5 rounds, you are going to be terrified. When you're terrified, you can choose to either flee, freeze, faint, or attack the nearest hostile person or creature with whatever weapon you're currently holding. So I'll let you think about that for just a moment.
Oh, you're being a possum. You can freeze.
Yeah. Oz, you had how many successes?
That was a large 0.
A large 0. Yeah. You are going to, as y'all are approaching this, you feel this sense of the immense pressure of the cave around you. And you think back to the night before when you tripped and fell flat on your face while your comrade was being attacked by a violent specter, and the disgust that you have for yourself and the idea that you are endangering not only your friends that are right here with you in the depths, but also possibly fellow members of your clan, if you fail to deal appropriately with this threat, just crushes you with that same tangible weight of all of the tons of dirt over and around you. And you're going to take 2 mental conditions. So I'll let you decide which of those is appropriate and how you want to lean into that. And then for Hefty, you actually, you experience, as you see y'all approaching this body, like your vision swims and distorts, and the rock itself seems to run and flow around you as though it is going to surround you and drown you and your friends in molten rock. You get a vision of the night sky, which is so familiar and friendly to you, and the moon being swallowed, and street fires and lanterns bursting into flame and consuming houses, and then all turning to darkness. And
that
you're
was
going to
after
take.
passing?
You got 1 success, right?
Yeah.
This was an opposed check.
Oh.
Because you got a success, you're going to take 1 mental condition for this.
Wow. Okay. Don't mess with rocks, you guys.
So those things all kind of hit you as a trio as you're approaching the body of Phineas Wesson.
Does it choose for me if I'm angry, frightened, or hopeless?
I believe that you can. You tell me as a role player which is appropriate for Hefty in this moment.
Oh, she's a possum. She gets frightened and she freezes. She falls over. Her tongue lolls out of her mouth. She smells like a dead thing, and her hands are twitching.
I think, Ozzy, you are as much as you took all of that mental weight and damage, you are the one most free, perhaps, to move in this moment. What do you do?
Is there any sense of where this fear is coming from? What's causing it? Is just the sign of the dead body itself?
You don't feel like it's just because you saw a dead body. You feel strongly that this has something to do with a force or an entity. And actually, I'm going to invite you to make some kind of skill roll to try and piece this together if you want to.
Skill roll. Well, as soon as he is hit with this mental attack, he crouches down into a defensive stance. He instantly goes into a fight or flight. He brings out his lucky fetish and he starts worrying at it, pinching it between 2 fingers. And if you looked at it closely, you would see this is probably a habit he does a lot. His hand instantly whips out a very oversized, at least for his frame, cooking knife. And he's looking around in every direction and trying to figure it out. I think he might use learning to try to figure out what it is that's affecting him. So this is not his first dead body. I'm going to roll 5d6s, and I got 2 successes.
Yeah, you especially as you are grabbing at that lucky fetish, you think back to Ma Bone Brew and the stories that she shared, and you feel like there is a spirit of the land that is angered in this place.
It's the spirits. They're upset. Whatever they did here, whatever they took out of here, they weren't supposed to. There's an earth spirit here. It's mighty mad.
I twitch.
Is there anything? Can Osmond think of anything that might alleviate an earth spirit's anger in this moment?
I'm going to let you dwell on that for just a moment. I know the comment was made, Arik, about how you could also play possum, but how is Arik responding to feeling the terror wash over him?
Yeah, I think much like the possum, only not intentional as a self-defense mechanism. I think he's just frozen. He knows that something needs to be done, but he doesn't know what, and he can't will his limbs to move in this moment. It's just terrifying.
Yeah. Ozzy, as you think again to the stories that were shared with you in your community, it occurs to you that such rituals can vary greatly from one region or one spirit to another. And so it's hard to know for sure. You do suspect that mineral might be tied to resolving the offense, but there may be other things that need to be done to bring peace again to this angered spirit.
Okay, with that in mind, I will, I guess Osmond will probably just shout, we understand! We're sorry! And, I'll do what I can. With that, since I'm the most mobile, it seems, I would like to go check on my allies, and if they are showing signs of fear, I'd like to use an ability known as Army Medic to treat a fear when frightened by the dead or damaged. Okay. Is that something I can use in this situation to help either one of them?
Yeah, I mean, they are both in the grips of fear. And it seems to me a little bit like, again, that kind of, that you are providing for your friends what Hefty provided for Arik the previous evening, that you're looking to draw on your skills to steady and balance them and help them recuperate in the face of this.
Actually, it looks like Army Medic might only be for myself, but I can use medicine to treat other player characters. And I can heal. It doesn't seem to have a restriction on what kind of condition I can heal. So then, let me try to use medicine on who seems to be the more affected. Probably Hefty, if she's acting dead and smelling like dead.
I am less affected. I am just better at acting.
I don't know that Osmond would know that. Looks like medicine is.
But I am a mental healer, so if you free me, I will free Arik. So it does make sense to free me. Yes.
It says, when you use medicine to treat other player characters, medicine is a... Oh, there it is a trait. Okay, precision. So I run over to Hefty and I see what looks like a dead possum. I shift into my bag and I pull out like this green kind of paste and I just start smearing it into her mouth. I'm like, shh, this is going to make you feel better. It's okay. Shh. And let's see here. Medicine, I have 2. That's also a precision skill, and I have a 4 there, so that's 6. Plus, I add another. No, I don't add anything to that. So, all right. So 6 die in total. There we go. I got two successes.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think definitely able to aid your colleague and help Hefty shake off the effect of this frightening.
Yeah, this is mechanically rest, I think, right?
I think
describe
so.
A scene. Yeah, we're allowed to do that. Okay. What is this? More of the goblin poison.
It might taste bad, but it woke you up, didn't it? You feel okay?
I genuinely rub my tongue off on you.
I act like that's totally normal. I'm like, just real quick. For safety purposes, how many of me do you see?
One.
All right, you're fine. You should be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna help Arik.
And then Arik, I have a 3 in inspiration and a 5 in empathy. So I'm going to roll 8 dice to try to heal you. And I'm going to do this by saying,
I know it seems like the ground is swallowing you up, and you'll never see the stars again, but I just want to remind you, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
this is terrible.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Remember those stars, Arik? Remember, don't you want to see them again? You gotta move to be able to do that, Arik.
Now I'm going to roll 8 dice or whatever. Let me look at that again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I'm gonna be so done with playing Bard in the end of the season. Yeah, that's a success. So, but just one on 8 dice. So I think you are healed by, I don't know how rest works. Let me look at the rest mechanics. Rest works by, yeah, it's under fear and stuff. Describe a scene together with one or several other PCs to recover from 2 conditions once per day. So, scene, I don't know, GM, how does this work?
I think he recovers from that condition. Although terrified is kind of a little bit different because it's not a condition itself.
Oh.
It is just a certain number of rounds that he
Yeah.
is terrified.
Yeah. So you're still
But
terrified, but you,
I think you're able to, over the course of that time of playing the tune, and this resolves that Arik feels steeled once again for the task at hand.
Yeah, the terror supplanted with like, it's such a surreal thing to be like completely overcome by terror in this like super oppressive, horrifying underground environment full of like the dead body, and then your friend who's a possum is like playing a ukulele about this twinkle twinkle. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, I'm back in it.
Life is beautiful and magical once again.
Yeah, he feels. If it's a bit odd, the love of friends shocks him back the splash of water in the face that he needs, and
Or at least everybody wants to leave after listening to my music, so now you're able to again.
okay, but I think we should take him with us, and points down at the body. I think we should bring all the rocks back and seal this off. I think we should trade.
The spirits might let us. I hope. Pretty good chance they want whatever that rock is that everyone's so excited about. They want it back.
Yeah, I think those rocks are bad news, gang.
How's it still under the mental conditions? Which, by the way, I ignored from my role due to an ability I have known as emergency medicine. I'm allowed to ignore mental conditions.
I should say that. Wordsmith, ditto, officially same here. I have wordsmith as my talent.
Ozzy
We weren't cheating.
Yeah, we weren't cheating. We were totally playing by the rules.
We just haven't shown you our whole character sheets.
Ozzy looks pretty depressed, and he's definitely muttering about how we never should have taken this job or come into the mine. We're gonna get everyone killed.
Oz, no, we're gonna stop him from being killed. We're gonna fix this. We gotta get him out of here and those rocks back, and then they gotta close it off. Nobody should come down here.
And then we gotta get Johan in occupational therapy, and it'll be all good.
Let's get out of here as quickly as we can.
Bye, spirit thing. We're gonna get your rock back. We're just gonna take this trash.
Arik will hop out and help put the body back into the mine cart so that we can get that out of there.
Yeah, I think a body left in the open in a mine for a month doesn't look so good, but we won't dwell on that. You're able to somehow get the remains back into the cart and take them away.
Small fun fact about mines. Do you know what temperature they are?
They get cold when you get down deep enough.
Like a morgue.
Huh.
Yep. So,
I just
It
didn't know if
depends
with like the
on-
moisture and potential cave critters.
I'm
the
sure it's
average
not pleasant,
temperature
but
in
yeah.
mines, yeah. It varies. Really varies, but it can get, I'm seeing a range of 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. So like the ones I've been in have been cold, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Like morgue temperature. Like
Then
you won't
Finn's
rot.
looking pretty good. Pretty well preserved as it stands. Some clear like bleeding from the ear and nostril, and a look of terror on the face. But other than that,
Refrigerated.
yeah,
Goes in one piece into the minecart.
yeah.
Stays in one piece during the offload. What more could you ask?
Arik will
What more
put a
could you
shoulder
ask
into
for?
the mine cart and help push it back up the track.
Hefty puts the body in. Oz is like, you got a little something on your shoulder there. It's a little.
Yeah, not really the time, Oz.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
So the fire-breathing kittens bring the remains of Phineas Wesson back out of the mine. I believe that Karen Royce would probably be there at the outside. I think the rest of the gathered crew had headed back into the town. When she sees Phineas's remains, she makes a gasp and kind of turns, like, takes a step forward, but then, like, turns away and just, like, has her back to y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Miss Royce. We've got his body. It's bad down there. Nobody should go back down. And we need to put all the rocks back. The yellow and the black ones that kind of glow. They all gotta go back, Miss Royce.
Yeah, we can load them in the cart and just push it.
Yeah, he nods emphatically.
I think that
That might work.
the mayor wants to, sell that rock and then pull out more.
I think the mayor should be charged with crimes.
Yeah, Miss Royce, all due respect, the mayor doesn't know anything. That's not good.
I think the mayor should go to jail for negligence.
I was going to inspect the body. Any clue on how he died now that we're out of the really scary situation?
It's hard to know what you could medically describe as died of fright, but if someone looks like it, you would suspect this might be it.
Okay. Looking over the body, Oz is like, no obvious signs of damage, no loss of blood. Looks like all his blood's still in his body. Yep. All right.
A little bit of blood leaking out of the ear and the nostril.
Yeah, Arik agrees. He was
the way he's
expecting...
doing is that he's like lifting up the hand and letting it drop.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it seems to all be there. Can you just get scared to death? Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like your heart or your brain. But I agree. I was expecting to find like an injury from an explosion or a cave-in or like because he couldn't breathe, but this is not that.
No, definitely not that.
Did you guys feel it when we were down there with the rocks and like everything was really bad? I didn't like it in there.
I felt some sort of oppressive force, and I felt like nothing would ever be right in the world again. That we were doomed to failure.
Hefty's just looking at the sky again. Like, sky.
Yeah, remind me to like buy you a drink or dinner or like a pail full of garbage. I'm not really sure how to best convey my appreciation, Hefty. But you really saved my bacon in there.
And thank you to Oz. We'll have to go eat at that goblin restaurant. That sounds... We'll do... I saw some crayfish on the... I can go for crayfish. So, we'll do that. We'll all eat together to celebrate this. So, we got a corpse with us right now.
Oh, yeah, we should probably get him buried, and we got to stop the mining operation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As you say that, Arik, Miss Royce had approached you and the group of the three of you and says, I know that this isn't what you were hired to do, but would you help me dig a grave and have a burial for Finn?
Arik nods. That seems he'd be honored to take part in that, but first he needs to talk to the mayor.
Miss Royce gives you a little nod and says, I'll go by Finn's house. I know that he had a couple of religious items that we can use during the ceremony.
Oh, it's kind of a...
We cleaned it for you a little bit.
Well, we didn't. It's sort of a state.
Possum style cleaning.
We aired it out.
We aired it out. So, it's okay. It's going to look different.
The little sun objects, right? We can get them. It might be sort of shocking.
Could you?
Yeah.
I would really appreciate that.
What are those, by the way? Is there some symbolism behind them?
They're pendants for the god of light.
The patron deity of the town?
And he died in a hole?
No, actually a relatively new faith for the community.
And he died in a dark, cold hole? That's, rough. I would turn into a ghost too if I worshipped a sun god and I died in a dark, cold hole and no one cared. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Phineas deserves better, and we can start that. But first, we have to make sure that the rocks go back, and that the land's not so mad at us, and that everything calms down. Nobody goes back in there.
She mouths to herself, "The land's not mad at us," and kind of gives like a little shake of her head and is like, "Well, thank you, and good luck. Tell me what happens next, players."
We arrest the mayor. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know that we have the authority to that,
We
but
don't.
I at least want to like talk to him and be like, "J'accuse."
It may not be that he was necessarily a bad actor in this. He definitely seems to have been negligent, but I'm not really sure he's the villain. They may just want the rock returned.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know things about the law here or any of that, but at the very least, I think that whatever that thing is down there, it wants its rocks back, and that they don't want any more people intruding. So I'm pretty sure I can convince him, but maybe if you guys could help.
It would probably help to bring the corpse with us and
That
directly
seems
show
sort of
him.
unfair to Phineas.
Why?
Well, because like
He went there himself.
that is a good point. He didn't seem all that happy.
Keep going. I'm just going to die over here.
Might be odd hearing this from a goblin, but it might be a little bit of against decorum to drag a dead body through the streets.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we should do that. He didn't have anybody, and nobody went for him and buried
right
him.
here.
I think that's not exactly what we got. A whole things with idioms here.
This person was so angry after death that they patrolled the barrier to try to get in, and they like took it out on children. I think they want the whole town to see their body. I think they want resolution, and I don't think it's being put in a nicer hole.
I think maybe we escalate with that. I think we should probably try and start nice.
Okay, we'll put a sheet on it through town. We'll take the sheet off in front of the mayor.
How are we transporting the body? Because I don't think the mine cart's going to leave the mine.
Yeah, I don't think it's got off-road
Kind of on
capabilities.
They put rocks from that hole in the ground into the town somehow. Cart.
Can we borrow a different cart, perhaps, for the body of your former friend?
Of half of your labor force.
And maybe a sheet.
Yeah, Karen is able to procure those things for y'all. Gives you directions.
Yeah, with that, Arik is wheeling this whole ensemble to the mayor's front door.
All right, you guys drag the remains of Phineas Wesson through town on the cart. Roll it up to the gate. It's not locked. You're able to roll it right up to the door of the mayor's house.
Did you see us?
That little
carting
head that popped out earlier, like pops the door open again as they see you coming up.
Oh, hey,
What you
bud.
got there?
This is important business for the mayor. Could you go get him, please?
Yeah, I can go get him. Back inside. You hear moments later, the mayor comes to the door, little boy like holding the back of the pant leg, like looking around. Yes, my son says that you have made some sort of discovery or found something of note.
Yeah, could we maybe talk to just you, sir?
He like gestures to the kid to go back inside.
And your wife. Miss, I don't believe in ghosts.
Sarah's with Johann at the moment. Do you want me to bring them both out here?
No. That's fine, whatever.
No, so we brought the body, and he kind of gestures behind to the body in like a tarp or a sheet or whatever on the cart. And he was down in, it's not just like regular mines down there. It's bad. Those rocks The yellow ones with the black and the kind of glow, they're not good, sir. You need to put all those back and seal them mine.
What? Preposterous. Do you know what kind of money we're talking about?
I do, sir. My dad told me that time is money, and he spent his time coming here, and he doesn't make bad investments, sir.
Quite right. A great investment. Good for the town and for the rail company.
Well, I disagree, sir. I think you need to close it down, or else.
Or else what?
And Arik, the smoke kind of billows out from behind him like his shadow is growing larger. And I'm going to use my talent, Strike Fear.
Yeah.
And so target NPC must pass a logic or empathy test with a bonus for friendlies, but he is on his own.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to scare the shit out of this guy.
Yeah. What is he testing against? Like, how many successes would he need to potentially succeed, or is this opposed?
I don't think it's opposed. I think it's just one success, and he probably beats it. But just straight logic or empathy.
All right. Let's call him. All right, logic or empathy.
And like, give him my choice, I'd choose empathy for him. But
all right.
I don't know that I get to specify as the player.
And just straight empathy, not like manipulation.
Yeah, just straight empathy. Very similar to what the ghosts did to us.
All right. He did not get a single success. And so, like, cowers back.
Yeah, my goal is to scare him into doing whatever it is that we say that will get us out of his presence. And realize that this is indeed a bad idea, that he doesn't run across the fire-breathing kittens, and that the mine needs to be closed, and the spirits or whatever need to be appeased.
Yeah, he like falls backward. My hip. Cries out. It's like, fine, take it. Just leave me and my family be.
I'm sorry, sir. I do think this is the only way to help.
I love that that's Arik saying that right now. What is the smoke doing behind Arik as you say? I'm sorry, sir. This is...
Yeah, the smoke is its own thing. It is like no longer part of his shadow and like leering over this man.
Yeah, I love that you're apologizing as this thing is like looming in and moving closer, reaching out for the mayor as he's scuffling back on the ground. Ozzy and Hefty, what are you guys doing in response to seeing this all unfold?
Staring wide-eyed at the smoke coming out from behind him.
Hefty has a long history of freezing and not moving when she's not sure what's happening, and it is an involuntary response, so I hope someone is carrying me, and I look like I'm still in their arms, hopefully.
If nobody else is, Arik will kind of gather Hefty up as we back out, and he'll sort of try to reel in the demon, but I'm not sure how much control he has over that once the bottle gets popped.
Yeah, I'm super curious. I'd love to make you make some kind of roll or check, depending on how that... just especially with the different kind of forces that are at play, I feel like things are maybe less controlled than you are accustomed to.
Uh-huh.
And it sounds like even what you're accustomed to is a little bit of diciness.
Yes. Maybe manipulation seems to make sense?
Sure, I'll buy that.
I only got 2. Let's get nuts. A success!
Hey! Yeah, so you start to physically back your presence away, and I think there's this moment where the smoke is reaching out for the mayor, and as you step back, it just pulls back the hand moments before it wraps around him, and then you pull the smoke back into yourself.
Y'all can see Arik was not confident in any of that. As he backs up and, okay, to the graveyard? Yes?
Yeah, and I think we should invite the whole town.
Yeah, I think he's been alone long enough. I think everybody should come say goodbye.
Let's, like, toll a bell as we walk to the graveyard or something. Slowly. mournfully.
Okay,
Oz is still
do you have a
looking
bell?
at Arik. Like, does that happen a lot?
Well, not a lot, and I've never done it on purpose before. I usually try and, like, not let that happen, but it was super unfair. Like, that man didn't deserve any of this.
He might have a little bit. I mean, you know, he was choosing profit over his whole family being cursed.
This guy, and he points to the corpse. He didn't deserve any of it. Phineas.
Yeah, probably not. No, he
He
probably
found
didn't.
out the hard way, or money, or his life.
Yeah. I don't really have a bell.
Oh, well, this is a mansion. They probably call servants with one.
Pilfer one.
I'm taking this on the way out.
You managed to find
we're
what looks
criminals.
like a child's bell.
Thanks.
And it sounds like you make a procession through town. You hey Mr. someone to find out where the graveyard is. Or perhaps Karen instructed you earlier that the town cemetery is adjacent to Oleg's library. And then, reconnect with Miss Royce, gather the more than a handful of town villagers. There's kind of, this is a town of tens of people when gathered en masse. But it sounds like following some instructions that were spread by the fire-breathing kittens that the town turned out to see proper burial done for one of their own, Phineas Wesson.
I'd also like to have gathered his sun symbols of the god of light and bury him with one and adorn the grave marker of whatever sort with the others.
One of you guys has to give a speech now.
Well, you're the one who's good with words, right?
Okay. Everybody in this town thinks that light is pretty good. We love these sun symbols here. We love the sky, I point above. And we know that going down in that mine is the opposite of that. Phineas died in the dark. He died full of fear. He died because the land itself was angry at what you all here had done to it. These black and yellow rocks are sacred to the land, like the sun symbols are to you. And by taking them, you've made the land sad, and you've made the land mad. And unfortunately for Phineas and for anyone else who goes down in that mine, that means that you'll die in the dark alone and scared. Because the land actually can do stuff to you. So you shouldn't do that. Don't go in the mine and send all the rocks back. Or you'll end up like Oleg. Faster. The end.
There's like a random person in the crowd that is like, amen. Like a few people like give like a half-hearted clap, but it putters out really quickly. People don't quite know what to make of that.
There's like a small possum on a podium.
Eric's also not sure, like the clap doesn't feel appropriate. He's one of the first no. So he'll like toss the first couple shovelfuls of dirt to kind of indicate that like the ceremony has concluded in
Yeah, and the town of Miners Hollow lays the remains of Phineas to rest. Are there other things that the fire-breathing kittens feel like they want to get up to in Miners Hollow?
Definitely return the rock for starters.
Yeah, just like put it in the cart and then just push.
Yeah, push it as
pretty
hard
much.
as we
I don't
can
wanna
so
go
it goes
back
all
in
the way to the bottom.
Give it a
Maybe with a
shove.
bow on top and some extra rocks that I find on the way in.
No,
I probably
I'm
want
sorry,
some more.
note.
This is a shiny one. It'll probably like this one. I throw that in the cart too and push it in. Might want to go check out, what was the gentleman's name who was researching the rock?
Oleg?
Oleg. Yeah.
Oleg. I wouldn't mind stopping in his residence to find out at least any kind of research he has. Maybe we can some clues to know that this might be enough.
Yeah, it's conveniently right next to the cemetery.
Fantastic. This guy knows how to pick real estate.
Yeah, you end up getting a
Quiet
key
neighbors.
from Miss Royce. She lets you in. And you guys do a little bit of digging around. And what precisely are you trying to kind of find within the premise?
I would probably go right to his study personally, or something that looked like a desk. I'm looking for notes, anything that he might have been. You said he had been studying the black and yellow rock. So, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like an investigation roll.
Sounds good to me. That is 5d6s for Osmond. A single success.
A single success. Yeah, you find what appears to be actually a set of journals, but looking at the most recent one, you do find notes about the retrieval of this rock, some of his efforts to document his tests on it, his excitement around its novelty, and his beliefs about its potential as a power source, communications with the mayor, and hearing that the mayor was planning to reach out to the railroad company, some excitement and enthusiasm on his part about what this might, opportunity it might mean for the town. Yeah, those are the things that you would find about most recently. I think he would have also probably documented, Phineas's death as something related to the rock, something to be, mindful of. Notes about how the mayor's suspended further mining until a bigger operation can take over and ensure greater safeguards.
Reading the notes, Oz will say, it looks like they really hope that this new find would revitalize the town. Looks like they were close to maybe even shutting down the mine, but I think shutting it down is probably their best bet at this point. Any further excavations down there can only anger those spirits.
Yeah, I agree, but it seems super sad. Like it could have been good for everybody, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, sharing in the wealth of the community is nice, but if I had to guess, I think the mayor and his family probably would have kept the lion's share. And honestly, they're taking what isn't theirs to begin with. Belongs to the spirits, so it's good that we returned it. I think we did all right here, I think. It just, hopefully that solves the problem.
Speaking of, we should maybe go see the mayor and his family and see if they're all okay. I should also maybe apologize. I think I scared him pretty good, and he's older than he used to be. I mean, like, days ago.
Yeah, you get a pretty cold reception at the Banks household. Stiffly accepts an apology if you offer one. But they seem, a little rattled, but, none the worse for wear from when you arrived.
Any progress on the curse? Is the kid still 17 in diapers, or?
As of today, still the same setup.
I hope we fixed it, gang.
That doesn't seem to have been enough.
Well, you set the kid down in the hole. I don't know what to tell you. We did what we could. At least nobody else is going to die, too.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
We're assuming that solves the problem. Are there any... We might have to start looking into maybe the records of this place. There might need to be some sort of ritual to appease the spirits.
Do you know any rituals?
Let me frame it this way for you, players. Do you imagine that you would say, well, we've done what we've come to do, and call it job done as best can be, and return to Nicomoy? Or would you linger around in Miners Hollow doing some more digging and research?
Oz would linger and do more research personally.
Yeah, same. Arik wouldn't leave until some sign that, like, the hand healed, the burn wound of the hand healed on the mayor's chest, or like the kids returned to normal. Some sign that like things had healed.
Yeah. Well, then on the following day, you would see, if you checked back in, the Johann has de-aged a handful of years. The handprint is fading from the mayor. The mayor seems to have a bit more spring step. Still a little cool reception, but certainly is now also expressing some cool gratitude, like the signs that what y'all have done is benefiting his family, and so can appreciate that angle of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think worth naming for y'all, if you were lingering around an additional day, the town takes measures to block off that branch of the mine, and your father is put out for having made this trip for what that the mayor pulled the deal at the last minute. We were all set to go and everything. I just can't understand it. It's like the man doesn't want money. But you would note that the goblins are back in the mine like the next day. Like they're still kind of pursuing that angle of the agribusiness, unless you guys intercede or do something. But they're doing that. Seem all right with it.
Oz only shakes his head. Idiots! You can't fix stupid, I'm afraid.
I think the Gabo smorgasbord works just fine. It's alternative commerce, potentially, and has nothing to do with the shiny rocks.
Sure.
Yeah, swing away.
A Jason angry earth spirit that might scare you to death. Put that right in the flyer. Yeah.
Oh, we
Moss
should get
don't
a
taste
jingle
evil.
for that. All right. Any other closing vignettes that y'all would like to offer?
No, we for Oz, we finished. We accomplished what we came here to do. It seems like we alleviated the problem, and hopefully that mayor will learn better than to steal shiny rocks from deep within the dirt.
And before you part town, Miss Royce, on behalf of the mayor and also herself for bringing someone that she had a fondness for, a more proper rest, presents you with the reward for your troubles. Y'all are paid handsomely for your time and risk, and are able to set forth back to Nicomoy for new adventures. And so that brings our little story to a close. But joining us this evening, we had Arik Jorgson.
Well, gee whiz, thank you so much for sticking with us. I'm glad we were able to help.
Hefty Didelphus. And Osmond Bonebrew.
Thanks for listening. Hope you had fun, and make sure you have a nice snack before you go to bed tonight.
Thanks, folks. Take care.